Thank you for staying with us. There are better days ahead for Nigerians, both the young and the aged. The newly elected President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has promised that his regime will be full of transparency and accountability, while promising to deliver all he had written in his 80-page manifesto titled The Renewed Hope. He stressed that his government will be guided by the rule of law, justice and fairness, adding that he would run an inclusive administration that would unite all Nigerians. He also called on all Nigerians to work with him to ensure the growth and development of the country. But joining us in the studio is a public affairs analyst, Oladeinde Ariyo. Good morning.
Happy New Year.
You just have to say
that's the way the cookie crumbles.
It's good to have you on set this morning. Let's begin with the process that led to the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president-elect. There has been so many issues raised thus far with regards to that process. We saw that the two major contending parties are saying they are going to the courts, that the process was flawed. But from your observation, how was it?
Yeah, you must understand something. For the first time, Nigeria have elected a president who had it in his mind and worked at becoming the president. Shehu Shagari was planning to go to the Senate when he was drafted to contest presidency. General Obasanjo was in the prison. They got him released, and before you could say Jack Robinson became the president. But here was a man who left office 23 years ago and has remained outside of power, scheming, plotting, planning, building bridges, and connecting with people who he, by his own projection, would be useful to him at the right time. Whatever anybody may say, I give it to him. Because that was deliberate, and he was determined. Now, that done, there is nothing that is perfect on this planet Earth. None of us. Not you, not me. And anything human must have the flaws. But the question is, when you go to court, you are throwing away the decision of millions of people. And then you are now dropping at the altar of 10 people or less that will be at the bench, whose judgment will now prevail. Now, the question is, which of course is exemplary, that in Lagos, Labour Party defeated, they got more points than APC. If nothing was done to stop that, now, where APC now made no foray, why is it being seen as an irregularity? You understand me? So to that extent, I would rather allow the winner to celebrate and rejoice while planning the way forward, and let those who lost go back home and calibrate and begin their journey again. Before you know, 4 years will be here. It's a cycle. Otherwise, we'll be jeopardizing the interests of millions of people who voted and surrender it at the altar of only 10 people.
All right, but one would say that scenarios like this were even envisaged long ago.
Absolutely.
That is why there's a tribunal in the first place.
Right.
That is why there's a court in the first place. So that in case anything like this happens, you tender all the evidence and then everything is righted.
Absolutely.
So the point there is, if some persons feel that they were robbed of their mandate or victory, is it not just right for them to go to court?
Absolutely.
Right. So the point there is, the only thing we're saying is the conversations that's going on right now, it seems like instead of just going to court, there are some conversations that seem to be inciting young people.
And that, for me, is the problem.
And that could portend some danger.
Instead of taking your protest to the streets, take it to the court. Nobody benefits from incitement. When you incite people, and then it becomes the gang, and then take control and wreak havoc. These are people who ordinarily are charlatans, and then they will always be looking for chances to loot, and then to create mayhem. So we should not make that possible. So if you have any issue, talk less, because the talk on the street won't do anything. Get your lawyers together, put together your points or evidence that you have, or proofs, then go to court.
Right. Now, the president-elect has set up committees to meet persons who are aggrieved, contestants and all of that, and also said that in his speech, he said that his heart and his door is open to anyone that is aggrieved, and that they should come and build the nation together. Yeah. What does that say of his person?
It only shows that he understands the need for cohesion and unity. He also understands that he cannot do it alone. And he wants an inclusive government, whereby without regard to your political leaning or affiliation, so long as you have something to offer, you are welcome on board. And besides, immediately he was announced winner, he made overtures to them. He even visited them, so I was told. To that extent, he easily offered them the olive branch, which, if I'm in their shoes, I will embrace. We saw an example when Lord Jonathan was president, and before the vote counting could be concluded, the picture was very clear that he wasn't going to win. Immediately, against the council of people who were in his company, he picked his call and called the then General Buhari to congratulate him ahead of the announcement making him the winner. That shows the sportsman in him. And this again, what Ashwaju has demonstrated. So it only be fair that they too sit back. Do we want to go through this court process thing and begin to cause delay? Because we can't be in court and then not cause distractions. I would rather it's allowed to set the ball rolling, hit the ground running. We cannot afford to waste, not a day now, a second. Every second should be made to count. But when we have to go from courtroom to courtroom, it becomes distractive, and that's not going to be helpful to anybody. I'll be appealing to them, if they are listening to me, to take it in its stride. In any competition, there must be winners, there must be losers. It's a natural order of things. Nobody can come to me and tell me it's disfavored. You must prove it. What happened where you won? We should look, we just be fair-minded and let things go. We've been so terribly wounded that we need instant healing. And it's not an event, it's a process. That process must start today. We cannot wait till it's even sworn in. And I will expect that before he gets sworn in, the ministers that will work with him and all the people that will be requiring, they will have been assembled, probably gone through some tutorials and trainings, preparing to getting into office, so that Nigeria can look forward to a better life. And from his speech, he knew what he was going to do. He knew what he was saying. I looked at his speech, I analyzed his speech line by line, and it made sense to me. If not, you know me, I'll come here and tell you it didn't make sense to me. Yeah.
Well, the point there is, he has been, Tinubu has been declared winner and president-elect, so he stands. Maybe until...
You have to learn to put president-elect before his name.
Yeah, president-elect.
Not just Tinubu.
No, that's why I said he has been declared president-elect.
Yeah.
Fine. So he becomes president-elect, as far as the laws now are concerned. Now, only the courts will decide otherwise, if at all.
They've not gone to court yet. They are still talking.
Of course.
Common sense may prevail, and then they will accept the situation as it is.
But the Labour Party is saying they are going to court already.
Yeah, it's still a statement.
Fine.
Okay. No, it's not been activated.
Okay.
Right.
However way, we maintain status quo as it is. We have a president-elect.
Right.
Now, as a way of creating that platform to heal the nation, create unity, cohesion and all of that, what do you think, besides reaching out to those who are aggrieved from the election, what do you think he has to quickly do as he becomes the substantive president in a few months? What do you think he would do to begin to heal the nation?
For whatever reason, which we will not be able to dissect here, we've been so fragmented as a nation, and we've been so divided along ethnic, tribal, religious, and other lines. That when you look at them critically, they are not real, they are ephemeral. I'm not from Delta or from the East. You are my friend. We relate very well. Now, how come we will now allow politics to scatter us? We need to see what played out on so many WhatsApp groups. Friends of 30, 40 years suddenly became enemies. Why? I'm obedient, you are articulate, you are ratified. And they set the house ablaze. We had to be begging people to say, look, election has been won and lost. Let's start being friends again. And I'm talking of people who have been mates since primary school days, 50 years or more. So in that same sense, beyond reaching out to the contestants, the party also has to reach out to other parties as well, including the minions, those parties who didn't make any headline. Everybody is important, and as I always say, he is just first among equal. We are all joint and equal stakeholders in Nigeria. Nobody is bigger than the other. To that extent, as many groups as possible should be addressed. We should have more town hall meetings, reconciliation meetings, and all of that, so that from all corners of Nigeria and from outside Nigeria, we can start agenda setting with the new government, putting before the government our expectation, away from whatever promises were made. So that way, the president and his team will have to align our demands with their plans. If that works, within 90 days, you will be shocked. We start feeling governance. It has no time, like we happened in 2015, to squander 6 months looking for ministers. One of them is here. Oh, yes. There's no time.
So okay. This is one of the ministers?
One of them is here.
Oh, I see. That's interesting.
I've told you this before.
No, that's interesting. Congratulations in advance.
Oh, thank you very much.
Right. But we need to understand the root of a matter to know how to address it. Talking about the root of all of this divide.
Competition, the struggle for power, the struggle for position. Everybody wants to be leaders. Abi? That's what I mean. And for me, we've gone through this as several, even between twins, coming from the same womb, there will have been some small war. I will go before you know I'm not going. And then one will just come out, boom. Well, that one is waiting. Competition is just a part of life. It happens every day. You understand? Even for ladies, for young girls, you see men fighting over them. Or you see women fighting over men. Everywhere you go, people are competing. But we should not allow our individual interests to override, there's a line beyond which you must not go when you are competing. And as it is, INEC has said this person has won. INEC is people by human beings, not angels or saints from another space. Whatever errors that we have identified, they too can begin to look at it. And I've done a whole lot of that. Diagnoses, I'm making recommendations. And I'm sure the next election on March 12, right?
11th.
March 11th is going to be a lot better. And we will see all of that. But throwing out the baby and the bathwater wholesale is not going to help. There is no war, no acrimony. Let me tell you, between now and May, if there's any party out there, any social party, high-profile party, you won't be surprised to see the three of them, Atiku, Tinubu, and Obi, sitting on the same table, exchanging banters. So let's bring that brotherly spirit, that spirit of fellowship, togetherness. Let's bring it to. It's about Nigeria and Nigerians, not about individuals. So if you can think along that line, it will make a lot of sense. Nigerians need all of them. None of them can be thrown away. No, they all have something to offer. So let's take the best from all of you, offer the president-elect, let him succeed. Together we all succeed. That's the Ubuntu spirit. I am because we are.
Because we are.
Yeah.
All right. The point there is, if you check our political culture, even right from independence, there's always been this ingredient of ethnic, religious, regions, and so on. We took it into the Second Republic. We took it into the botched Third Republic. However, it was an improvement because Nigerians were ready to go with whether it was Muslim ticket, it didn't matter. Whether it was Greek, it didn't matter at all. You understand? And then we came into the Fourth Republic. And then we reset again to start all over. But we saw the issue of regions, ethnic and religion. It played out. Now, the point there is, how do we begin to de-emphasize this phenomenon in our political culture? Because we are growing for every election cycle. We are growing for every election cycle. We're growing.
There was a year, not somebody from Northeast or Northwest or North Central, and I was asking myself, nobody made any issue out of it's a Southwesterner and picked under Southern. Nobody picked any issue. They lost the election. Agreed, but there was no emphasis on both of them coming from the South. And then we suddenly lost it at a point which I cannot now remember. Abiola also gave us hope when he picked Alhaji Kingibe. Both of them were Muslims. But if you knew Abiola the way I knew him, yes, he was officially a Muslim. But Abiola touched everybody. Pagans, Christians, name it. He will build mosques today. Tomorrow he's building a church. And then some further people will come and say they have needs. He will meet them at their needs. So it was easy for them to sail through, and it was a success until it was truncated. Now, what we need to do is to start de-emphasizing. It was on this platform that I told you the role of the National Registration Agency. And I told you that they grossly failed us. Now, the election was a golden opportunity that they also lost. They should have had jingles in different languages, deploying different beliefs of each community, explaining to them what electioneering is all about. Unfortunately, we have made electioneering the most important aspect of our democracy. And it shouldn't be so. It's just a small part. Performance, delivery on promises should have been the real deal for us. But it's like everybody wants to be there. I don't have to be governor. No, if you are governor and I have things to say and I can reach out to you, the way today, government in Lagos State, if I feel anything, I call my friend who is the commissioner and I send him, and we move on. I'm not in government, but I influence things positively. I don't have to wait and say, okay, let them fail. No, they must not fail. If anything goes wrong, you don't know, I might be a victim. My child might be a victim. My brother, anybody that is my person can be a victim. We are better off working at erasing all those dividing lines. And that should be a collective effort. We have to rejig the NOA, whether we like it or not. They've not done very well. Mamsa was here, Professor Jega. All the statements they made then, they still resonate with us till today. But there is nothing you can pin to NOA as having been remarkable, outstanding, or significant. Nothing. The last time I engaged the director of public relations, all I could take away was that they were not properly funded. Let me tell you, I'm going to apply to that to manage NOA. Yes, I'm going to apply. I'm telling you now. Don't go and look for a job. Because people need to be mass educated and enlightened. You may assume that they know. They don't know. I was in a place yesterday, they left me with the remote control of the television set. And I was laughing. I've not touched the remote of the TV in a long. I don't watch television. So they came back and said, "This make us. I don't know what to press." So I needed to be educated. They now use a symbol to indicate volume. Next time I touch the remote, they would write V and put a plus and V a minus. To that extent, it might look little, but I didn't know it. So millions of Nigerians out there, and I will always tell you, nobody will deny knowledge. We all want knowledge. The Bible will even say to seek knowledge, seek wisdom, and of course understanding. It helps to make life better. So that's for me. It's it's not negotiable. We must empower the National Registration Agency to deliver value. Get people, let them understand. We were begging some people to go and vote, and they were like, "Why should I vote?" You have to. It's a responsibility bestowed on you, not by me. Constitution and God. So please go and vote. It shouldn't be that bad. 93 million people collected voters cards. Look at it. Less than half. Eventually turned up.
27%.
I was expecting I would see 70 million voters. That was my expectation. But unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
On INEC side, give it to them. They did everything they needed to do. But unfortunately, fifth columnists, inside that, who were just like, if we are 12 here, and one of us may be a Judas Iscariot, they chanced on INEC. And as I said on another platform, Nigeria happened to INEC.
Is it to make it sound like Nigeria is bad now?
No,
when
no,
Nigeria
not in that
to
sense.
you?
No, you should understand this thing now.
We don't.
No, we don't understand. Please make us understand.
We will make it appear that may Nigeria not happen to
So,
me.
so make
Nigeria
it
is
clear.
negativity.
When you say Nigeria happened to INEC, make it clear to us.
Fifth columnist, in collusion with some political gladiators, look at what happened in Osun. Exactly, they look at the system and say, how do we compromise? And then they went to work. That was why it became so difficult for people to upload their results from the point of voting, whereas it was seamlessly designed to flow like that. At the end of the day, according to INEC, about 1/3 of results were uploaded right at the voting point. You can't come and say Ashwaju did that. No, you can't blame Atiku for that. You can't blame Obi. Some people must have done that. Unfortunately, they are faceless. I don't know them. You don't know them. But of course, they had their day.
Right.
At the end of the day, Nigerians still have its way.
Yeah, but seeing it from another perspective, it's a technology.
Absolutely.
Anything could naturally
open to
have
human
happened.
manipulation.
Yeah, but must it be that somebody was responsible for that? Because we use technology here and there. Sometimes there's just a challenge with the technology. It's technology. Anything can happen.
I'll give you an example. By 6 a.m., I didn't see the driver from here. I had to start calling that, look, I'm ready. It did not look like I wasn't ready. And what happened? The guy had a problem with his car. We passed him by on our way because another car was sent to come and pick me. Now, you can understand that if the car was faulty, it wouldn't have been assigned to come and pick me. But as you said, technology, and even human beings that were made by God, Almighty God, in His wisdom, we break down.
Of course.
Yeah. We've seen people addressing global audience, and suddenly they will drop.
Exactly.
Some have dropped and passed on like that. So we must understand just that in our anxiety or desire to be the winner, things don't go our way, then we start making noise, raising hell, and trying to bring down the roof. No, we should calm down and allow maturity, and above all, the national interest of Nigeria to prevail.
Right. There are those who have said that what we know in our politics have been disrupted with the way Labour Party came in, and it's no longer
dislocation.
Caused a dislocation. I will use your word, and now emerged such that Nigerians said, despite not having the structure as it is claimed and all of it, these people were able to make an impact in the election.
Right. What was going for them? A lot of them were young people, very potent, very mobile, and intelligent. They deployed technology. When they were being mugged, and Obi was being called social media potential candidate, that they will vote for him on Facebook. But they utilized technology to galvanize people, and they raised an army of voters, so much that somewhere in Kano, somewhere, an Okada rider won a ticket to the House of Rep. And here in Lagos, hitherto known names were dusted by total strangers. Everybody came to vote for. But don't forget that you're not voting for Labour Party. Obi was the brand.
So it's a P2Obi effect.
Peter Gregory Obi effect. Don't accept by saying March 11, by 13th, the report will come out. The story will have changed. Because I don't think that energy level can be sustained.
You think so?
We can take a bet. I don't think it can be sustained.
With the mobilization we are seeing on social media ahead the 11th already.
I can see mobilization, but I told you the brand was Obi. The man they voted for, that other rider, He knew nothing. I'm sure he didn't print any poster. Another guy, a member of the local vigilante group in Delta, also won his seat. And when they gave him a certificate of a return, I'm not sure he could read what was written there. But the guy won the election. Nobody gave them any chance. And that, for me, is a wake-up call for the so-called big parties, established parties. Remember when we got statistics that we had 173,000 more polling units. Labour had in less than 60. They had agents in less than 60. Yet, they still did very well in places where they were not represented. Again, I'm going to be advocating for independent candidature. I know that if I go to where my village in Abeokuta, they will vote for me without being in any party. You understand? And that means we are liberalizing our democracy. Yeah. We are expanding and we are making it more inclusive. Again, we are eliminating evils like governalism. You know, whereby you can come and say, I want to contest, and you owe nobody any obligation. Now, nobody, I saw you, I mean, nobody can come and say it was his godfather. One of the miracles I saw in Kaduna, APC didn't do well as it is. In Katsina, the same thing. So Ganduje won't have a say in Kano. Everybody won't say, I made him president. No. Even President Buhari himself in Katsina has lost the ticket to thump his chest and say, oh, I made it. Even the party chairman, APC, you know. So it was a brand Tinubu. Okay, not much of APC now, the way it went.
Right, right. And that's a fine place to leave the conversation. Public Affairs Analyst Oladeinde Ariyo, thank you for your time.
I will invite you to my office in Abuja.
When you become minister, right?
Thank you. So, but are you becoming minister or you are NOA? Which one? You said you will apply for.
Apply officially.
Okay.
Manage NOA.
Okay.
But if I'm offered another position, you know I'm eminently qualified.
I know, of course. Fine. Of course. Nobody would have.
But please don't come looking for any.
Congratulations.